Welcome back to the Ultimate Trumpet Podcast, brought to you by TrumpetStudio.com.
This is the only show where we strip away the myths and treat trumpet playing as a true discipline. Whether you're grinding through your daily fundamentals or preparing for a grueling orchestral masterwork, we are here to help you dial in your craft.
Today we've got an incredible topic lined up. We are diving into an eye-opening piece written by Michael Drosty called The Superchop Method, How I Survived Lead Playing.
This is a fantastic topic, and Michael actually sent over some great personal background on this. He developed this setup completely on his own through trial and error, only finding out later that it was a formalized method called Superchops.
Right. He mentioned he was just trying to survive high-note playing. When you're playing lead for a 3-hour show, the chops need to just be there throughout the entire performance. He needed a stable, repeatable method to rely on. For him, it just seemed natural that the lower lip slowly rolls in as you ascend.
It completely paid off, too. It gave him a constantly stable 3-octave range from G to G to G all night long. On a quick side note, Michael also mentioned he really misses his Schilke B1, which is a legendary horn. He's currently looking for a lead replacement and checking out the Yamaha Bobby Shew model.
A great choice for this style of playing. So let's dive into the mechanics. The quest for a powerful, consistent upper register has led to decades of pedagogical debate. For generations, traditional methods championed the smile technique or the Farkas pucker. But as players pushed the boundaries of lead playing in jazz ensembles and demanding symphonic repertoire, the limitations of these setups became glaringly apparent.
Enter the Superchop Method. Originally formalized by renowned brass teacher Jerome Calais, this approach completely reimagines the physical mechanics of playing. It treats the instrument not as a mystery of brute force, but as a discipline of highly efficient physics, compression, and anatomical alignment.
To really understand it, you have to fundamentally deconstruct the traditional embouchure and rebuild it around 3 primary pillars: the inward roll of the lips, the forward anchor of the tongue, and the mechanics of highly compressed air.
Let's look at why traditional methods often fail up high. When a player uses the smile embouchure to ascend, they stretch the orbicularis oris. This thins the lip tissue, making it incapable of withstanding the high-velocity airstream needed for high notes. The aperture blows open, and the player instinctively pulls the horn harder against their face.
That excessive pressure pins the lips against the teeth, cutting off blood flow, bruising the tissue, and destroying endurance. Even the traditional pucker hits a ceiling if it relies solely on muscular contraction without the proper structural backing. That brings us to Pillar 1, the inward roll and muscular focus.
Instead of stretching outward or protruding forward, the lips are drawn inward, curling slightly over the edges of the upper and lower teeth. By rolling the red part of the lips inward, you present a thicker, more resilient pad of muscle and tissue to the mouthpiece.
It creates a gripping action inside the cup. Because the lips are thicker and supported directly by the dental structure, the need for mouthpiece pressure is virtually eliminated. The structure of the roll itself holds the aperture intact.
Pillar 2 is dental alignment and jaw position. In a traditional setup, players often play with their teeth spaced apart. In the Superchop methodology, the teeth are brought significantly closer together, sometimes maintaining a gap no thicker than a single sheet of paper.
To achieve this, the jaw has to thrust slightly forward so the teeth align vertically. By closing that gap, the oral cavity is drastically reduced in size. According to fluid dynamics, forcing an airstream through a smaller opening instantly increases its velocity. You get the air speed necessary for a double high C without relying on exhausting exhalation.
Which leads us perfectly to Pillar 3, the tongue position. If the inward roll is the chassis, the tongue is the velocity engine. The tip of the tongue anchors radically forward, either against the bottom lip or resting directly on top of the bottom teeth. It never pulls back.
Meanwhile, the middle and back of the tongue arch high toward the roof of the mouth, an extreme, constant ah-ee syllable. This microscopic space channels the air directly into the aperture like a highly pressurized ramp. The compression is generated inside the mouth, taking the workload completely off the respiratory system.
Finally, Pillar 4, the airstream and the spit buzz. People think high notes require more air, but they actually require less air volume and vastly more compression. Think of a garden hose. If you place your thumb over an open hose, reducing the aperture, the water suddenly shoots 20 feet. The volume didn't change. The compression and velocity did.
Exactly. And because the tongue is so far forward, interacting with the back of the lips, Jerome Calais called this the spit buzz. Moisture is driven directly through the aperture, creating a highly localized, intense high-frequency hiss or buzz right at the center, which the mouthpiece amplifies.
Transitioning to this requires incredible discipline. When you first attempt the inward roll and forward tongue, your middle and low registers might sound thin because the lips haven't developed the muscular strength to maintain the curl. You have to start in the middle, on second line G, and focus entirely on mechanics.
Slow lip glissandos are essential. As you ascend, consciously increase the inward roll and raise the tongue arch. Resist pulling the mouthpiece into your face. Ironically, practicing in the extreme pedal register while maintaining the Superchop setup forces the lips to relax and vibrate while keeping the structural integrity.
The greatest challenge is the psychological battle on the gig. When fatigue sets in, the body instinctively wants to revert to smiling and pulling the horn into the face. But mastering the Superchop method transforms the trumpet into an instrument of refined acoustic engineering, yielding a brilliant upper register and a massive reduction in facial fatigue. And that officially wraps up this episode of the Ultimate Trumpet Podcast. If today's breakdown on acoustic physics and air compression challenged the way you think about playing, keep in mind that buying a new mouthpiece won't fix poor daily habits. True endurance and power come from mastering your core fundamentals.
Spot on. If you're ready to build that bulletproof foundation, head straight over to trumpetstudio.com. You can pick up Michael's essential books to transform your routine. The Ultimate Warm-Up, The Ultimate Technical Study, and to get you completely prepped for the heavy gigging months, The Ultimate Wedding Book.
We appreciate you tuning in and spending time with us in the studio today. We'll be right back here for the next episode.
Until then, now go practice.